Hello and welcome to Economics and a Joke. This is the first video in a series of videos about the theory of the firm. It starts to look at production, costs, revenues and profit. And as always, the benefit you get if you watch the video through to the end is that you are rewarded with an extremely funny joke. The theory of the firm is an examination of the theoretical models that have been developed by economists that cover a whole range of different markets. In IB Economics, we look at perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic competition, and oligopoly. Where we're heading with this, eventually, this is a taste of what's to come. This is long-run equilibrium in perfect competition. It's a model, economic model of how a firm is thought to behave in a perfectly competitive market. We start off by looking at how we get there. Why is it that we've got a marginal cost curve, average total cost curve, the shape they are? Why is the demand curve, the average revenue curve, in this case a perfectly elastic line? Those are the economic models that economists have developed over the years to try and explain an extremely complex world in which we live in, where variables don't tend to stay constant over time. It's a very, very complex, very difficult thing for economists to actually make predictions, and building models started really with Adam Smith back in 1776 when he started to develop the price mechanism, has continued ever since. In the early 1900s, economists really started to develop the theory of the firm into what it is today. So we're going to have two videos. The first one here is looking at the law of diminishing marginal returns, or the short run situation for firms in the theory of the firm. The second video will look at increasing, decreasing and constant returns to scale. So the idea of the short run is that it's a period of time when at least one factor of production, or the inputs, land, labour, capital and enterprise, is fixed in supply. The long run is a time period when all factors of production are variable. So economists have developed what they call product curves to explain the relationship between the inputs, the factors of production, and the outputs. To do so, they've used the following terms: total product, average product, and marginal product. And the assumptions that they have built enable them to make predictions about what will happen to total product, average product, and marginal product as the number of workers increases. And you could work through this table to give you an idea of what is thought to happen. If you plot the total product, average product, and marginal product on the same graph, the outcome that you get is going to be something like this. So the idea is that the total product here, as you increase, in this case, the variable factors, let's say labour, and this is a measure of total product or output along the vertical axis, sorry. Now the total product curve will look something like this. So what you can see happening is that as you increase the number of workers, output starts to increase. More importantly, it increases at an increasing rate. Then it starts to increase at a decreasing rate, and it eventually starts to fall. Look at it in terms of the average product and the marginal product. Marginal product is the increase in output by the addition of one more worker. So the addition of the first, second, third worker, etc. initially adds quite a lot to total product. There'll be a point at which the marginal product then starts to decline, and then actually there becomes a point when the addition of one more worker actually leads to a decrease in total product. What you'll notice is that when marginal product is equal to 0 here, the total product is at a maximum. Look at the average product, a similar relationship. So the average output per worker is increasing up to a point, and then it'll start to decrease. The point at which the average product cuts the marginal product is when the average product is at a maximum. If we bring this up to the total product curve, what you can also talk about is the fact that as output is increasing here at an increasing rate, this is the point when what's called diminishing marginal returns sets in. This is the point when diminishing average returns set in. This is where marginal product is at a maximum. This is where your average product is at a maximum. And total product here is at a maximum, as I said before, when marginal product is equal to 0. So final comment on this is the law of diminishing marginal returns. This is the assumption that everything in theory of the firm is based upon. As an increasing number of variable factors, this case labour, are added to a given quantity of fixed factors, output will initially increase at an increasing rate, then at a decreasing rate, and eventually it will start to fall. As promised, here comes the joke. Jokes about poo are not my favourite, but they are a solid number 2.